Thurston Hall is George Washington's primary freshman dorm. Each year, roughly 1,116 first-year students are assigned to room in Thurston Hall. Described as the quintessential freshman experience, roughly one-third of the entire undergraduate student body at GW is currently living or has lived in Thurston at some point in time. In 2007, the Washington Post put out an article where they compared the quality of living in Thurston to a zoo. Nearly 11 years later, and GW is still under heavy fire about the living conditions in the dorm and what their impact is on students. In order to find out what exactly is wrong with Thurston, I'll be going to the root of the problem firsthand. So, what floor of Thurston do you live in?
On the first floor.
How do you like it?
To be honest, I hate it.
Really? Why?
It's awful. Well, first of all, I'm a 6th person with one bathroom. Bathroom's not good at all. Toilet clogs constantly. The sink clogs. The AC never works. It's just terrible, honestly.
Dang. Would you live in Thurston again if you had the opportunity?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That doesn't sound too good.
Yeah, it's awful, man.
Intrigued about what made Brady think about Thurston the way he does, I decided to take a look at his room for myself. On face value, despite it being messy, it seems like a normal room that's just a bit small for 6 people. However, after closer inspection of the room, it came to my attention that the sizes of the bedrooms are too small for GW to label them as bedrooms. Instead, they use names such as study alcove and a separate closet. For example, you can see here that the double in the top left corner of the room is labeled as study alcove, while Brady's room in the top right is a closet. To put this into perspective, every other dorm building in the entire campus labels rooms as bedrooms because they're big enough for GW to label them as bedrooms. Because of this, I decided to meet up with Brady's roommate to discover more about the room. So, show me some conditions of your room.
Yep. So we got a broken window over here by the bathtub. It's supposed to stay open, but doesn't. The screen's coming off in there. All this glue is peeling off. This wood is actually paper. There's some exposed insulation. They painted over the rust on these hinges. And then floorboards are really gross. They've been coming off all year. These just, they don't even work. And there's a giant hole in our screen.
Wow. The obvious downside of Thurston Hall are the living conditions it forces upon students. However, despite this, students are still pleased with their overall Thurston experience. So, where do you live in Thurston?
9th floor.
How is that?
It's great.
Is there anything you change about Thurston?
Nothing at all.
Really?
Yes.
You like Thurston that much?
I like the social scene.
That's fair. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, all the freshmen are here. That's how you make friends. If you're in any other dorm, you probably won't have friends for the next 4 years.
It's true. What about the living conditions?
It's kind of trashy, but you know what? You pay for what you get.
That is true. So, even though Thurston Hall was built in 1929, and since then has been literally crumbling at its foundation, it still provides over 1,100 first-year students with a freshman experience that they'll never forget.